I know that California is going to outlaw all our hot rods. And then we're going to either go horseback from then on, or we have to get something new. And I'm afraid of buying a new car, Greg.
Oh my gosh, I am afraid of what the new options are, honestly. Electric, hybrid, but everybody says we're supposed to go electric. California wants everything to be electric. California made all landscaping be electric. They have no gas.
Oh, you can't do...
You can't. You don't have... All the landscaping companies had to switch from gas-powered weed eaters,
snowblower?
Yeah, everything.
Man. That's why I never see anybody using a snowblower out in California anymore.
Because they have to be electric, not because it doesn't snow.
Well, it's effective. I don't see a drop of snow on the ground out there, so their snow blowing must be amazing. I guess maybe I'm on their side on this now.
You know what I meant.
Do I?
Weed eaters.
Either I'm really stupid or I'm
very clever.
Or clever. Yeah, exactly. Nobody can tell the difference. Isn't that fun? Like if you do stupid jokes all the time, then people.
Is he really that stupid, or is he that smart to pull it off?
Right. It kind of sifts out the clever from the idiots, and then you have to change your thing, or you got to go commit, and then you go, well, I'm just going to have them assume that I'm an idiot from now on.
Just let them assume it, because we all know better.
Exactly.
But yeah, California making everything electric, and then I heard something or saw something on YouTube about them wanting to make all vehicles electric and have electric lanes and stuff like that. Convert the inner cities into nothing but electric cars and stuff like that. So
yeah,
most of the car manufacturers have made announcements that they're going all electric, that they will know.
Yeah, and on the inner cities, they're like, the gangsters are going to have to convert to electric phase guns.
Where are you going to charge all those stolen things?
No, you're like, you're going to choose just photon guns instead of bullets. Because it leads to climate warming.
Too much gunpowder discharge.
Yeah, exactly.
It contributes to global warming.
You go to Compton in the 90s, man. It was warm.
Yeah, and smoggy.
Yeah.
Because the bad air, yeah.
I don't know. I think if you were forced to go full electric, would you do it?
No.
No? What do you mean?
Because I'm...
would you just get a bicycle or what?
No, I'd have to get a hybrid of some sort.
Oh.
Because full electric vehicles, you have you have some range, but you don't have the range that you have if you're hybrid. And if
I did say forced to drive electric, but whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, I wouldn't.
I do not accept your hypothetical.
I do not accept your hypothetical force gun to my head.
It's like, oh yeah, well, a rock would go right through paper, okay? So I'm not playing rock, paper, scissors with you. A rock would smash your scissors and smash paper.
Right.
Greg, play along. Right.
Then I would go with the Tesla. Because it's been tried and proven. But then again, the Rivian's done the Rubicon, and it's supposedly... tried and proven just like the Tesla. So the new Hummer H2 thing it's full electric.
It's like going to a Marvel movie with Greg and he's just yelling out, "Fake! Gamma radiation wouldn't turn you into a green monster. That would just give you cancer.
A nuclear spider bite isn't going to give you spider web handling capabilities. Come on. Fake!" That's not true. I love those movies.
Okay, well then suspend some disbelief for the next podcast here.
I would like to have the Tesla because man, it's fucking insane. The Plaid 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. Give me a break.
Yeah. Okay, and then Cybertruck.
Let's give it a few years before I make a decision on that one. I'm open-minded on it. I like it. It's supposed to be fast.
I did. I sent you pictures of it, I guess, when I walked through the mall to go look at one. There's a Tesla dealer inside the mall here. And
isn't that funny?
I love it. Well, it's doesn't make any pollution.
There's no emissions,
you can roll it in and out. When I worked at like a VW dealer, we would drop off like Jettas and stuff in that mall, and it was so surreal and fun driving a new car through the mall.
Isn't
Like I was an oil change porter guy or whatever way back when, and just like driving it through like this mall that
Blues Brothers style.
Yeah, it was cool. I don't know, it was just weird. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Blues Brothers movies. I gotta watch that first one again. They stacked up so many Dodge the Diplomat things.
Oh my gosh, they wasted so many Dodges in that movie.
But I think that Cybertruck is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I wonder how it's going to play out.
I think it's because, like, for the longest time, we've had so many boring cars that just look like each other, and I get it. Like,
yeah, the last 10 years of that. Yeah,
I'm driving through a neighborhood, bought a couch with my dad. We had to go pick up a couch for Mom, and so we're driving through these neighborhoods that are all owned by the same one company, and they all look exactly the same. Every house, every house looks the same.
Yeah.
Every third one is exactly the same.
Yeah.
And
they're just different colors and shades and stuff, and some of them are still the same color.
Right. And I didn't grow up in those kind of houses or whatever, and then. But they're for miles and miles and miles. It's all the sea of beige, which is.
Yeah.
But then you kind of go, and I'm like starting to rant about this, and Dad, rolling eyes a bit. But he also goes, "Well, it's safety," I go, "Oh,
it is."
I go,
"It's absolutely safety."
I go, "Yeah, that's right. It's like camouflage. Like if you're a zebra in a pack of zebras, then the lion can't attack you because they can't find your house."
Exactly.
And there's no lions in this neighborhood. It's totally safe.
Actually, zebras have stripes, so it confuses the flies and mosquitoes.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. They're thinking. They're not sure why they're striped exactly, but now the latest belief is they're leaning towards they don't get eaten by insects as bad.
What was like this crazy zebra stripe thing on, like battleships and stuff like that for World War II? Remember that?
Yes.
What's that? What was that pattern called?
They did that camouflage for so that it would confuse the torpedoes and the Japanese.
And also somehow like you couldn't tell if the ship was which direction it was traveling because you can't really
because it's so far away
the front from the side or whatever.
Even through telescopes,
in a telescope
or periscopes.
You want to say boroscope really bad.
I really do want to say that.
But yeah, I
got guns on the mind.
I think that okay, so maybe there's safety there, and maybe in the same way people are buying the same shape. Tiguan RAV4, Crosstrek, whatever it is. That, as we remember from some Top Gear episodes when they were reviewing a bunch of mid-size SUVs.
And they were all...
And James May kept talking about the Mazda CX-5 is an innovative engine combo because, and he looks down and he goes, "Oh wait, this is the Volkswagen." And he goes, "Oh, I lost it," or whatever. And because there's like 6 of them around in the circle, and he couldn't find the car that he was reviewing. And he's like, "Oh, I really did," because they were making the same point of.
They all look the same.
They all look the same, and I get that because if you show up at a party and remember in high school, if you showed up, maybe junior high more so, but you wore
driving in junior high.
You wore an orange shirt, then all of a sudden they're calling you Orange or some kind of nickname. It's going to change who you are for the next day or two. And you're
Orange Julius, yes.
Orange Julius. Yeah, you're Orange Julius. We're going to call you Julius from now on. And it's which would be a really, really tame...
Or OJ.
Nickname or OJ. Yeah, it's would be so wonderful if you could just get away with Julius. But... as a nickname, but
all the cars look the same. You said it in the last podcast or the 2 podcasts ago, if we're leaving the scene with the 500 pounds of gold, you're going to get the vehicles that you could pull in the parking lot and they can't tell.
Yeah, and I don't know if I would.
So, yeah.
I don't know if it would be my first choice to buy if I don't know if I'd spend my $80,000 on a Macan, Porsche Macan, but I would buy it to escape a robbery.
Yes.
Because it looks like any kind of Mazda, Nissan, whatever, if you take off the badges and
a crossover thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a little dusty and you just could park it on a dealership lot as the cop cars and helicopters fly past you. I think that part is safe. And I think that having all things blend.
Yeah.
And then, so it was just the same kind of reaction, I think, that the Cybertruck gets that you would in a field of junior hires that said, your shoes are dumb. I don't like that. Now you're dumb. You're different.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's make fun of you.
So that's the Cybertruck?
And the Cybertruck is making any statement at all. It's not like it's... Versus,
it's not
a billion other trucks that have looked the exact same forever.
Right.
Since, the 40s basically have that 2-box style of truck, and then all of a sudden this shiny triangle comes through.
A kind of a weird wedge-shaped truck.
It's like, it is brave, and it should be applauded that something different came along, I think. And I think it's cool. And I know that everybody will nitpick
to a certain extent,
at every little bit of it. Maybe it's not as innovative as it could have been, because GM already has 4-wheel steering since the
2003.
and Honda since the 80s and everything else, like Preludes. But and the electric motors aren't new.
No, they've had electric cars since 1911.
Yeah, there's a lot of that to that vehicle that's not innovative, but it's just all of those things are packaged in together.
And it's now the modern version of the full electric truck. And the shape and the size is bold, and that's what you got to do to stand out, right?
Yeah.
Instead of having the square cab and the square box, blah blah blah.
And I think that we're going away from emotional cars. Like
what the fuck? How are we going away from emotional cars if you have that Cybertruck? That truck is so emotional.
I'm saying that like we were going away from just emotional cars into electric drivetrains, because you won't be able to distinguish the feel of an electric car to another electric car, I think. And I think maybe, and we talked about this a while ago.
I'm following. Okay.
So like, you get a big block Chevy feels a whole lot different than a Ferrari's V8. Okay.
I'm getting it.
It spins and it wails versus growls, so, but electric, it's tough unless they add in these artificial noises, which they're doing.
Yeah, you commented on it when a Kia drove past my house, I believe it was, and I said, that sounded weird. You go, yeah, they added that sound so you knew it was coming.
Yeah, it has speakers on the outside of the car.
Don't get hit by it.
I hate that, man.
Those have got to be the best waterproof speakers ever.
Yeah, or not, and they just replace them. I don't know.
I want a set of those waterproof speakers, man.
I would unplug every speaker on the outside of my electric car, man. It's like, that's the whole point of having an electric car, is it's silent,
To be silent, yeah.
I was in California last time, and like everybody's got an electric car, and it's like way louder than a regular Wyoming parking lot, because it's like, because all the gasoline cars out there, it's quieter than all these like ree or whatever, right. humming Hyundais and stuff, and Teslas going around making these sounds and stuff.
But I don't hear the Teslas. I hear the other cars trying to make that electric sound, if you will, like the Kias and the Hyundais and some of those vehicles. I don't hear the Toyotas, but they're hybrids, so. True.
So anyway, returning back to this idea, is that I think the next thing to differentiate electric car from electric car, the new class of vehicles, is going to be design.
Not motors? You don't think we'll have, like you just said, the big block, small block revolution where we have,
I don't think so.
This is a GE.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some different gear whine that's not annoying, like there are some superchargers. I mean, superchargers can be annoying.
Oh, they can.
But most of the time, it's like, because you relate it in your mind to, this is power, this is fun. This
harmony brings me tears of adrenaline joy.
Yeah. And so that maybe you can build an electric car with some mechanical noise to it.
To have a mechanical motor sound? Is that what you say?
Yeah, or something. Because I mean, but I don't like it when they replace electric car noise with
the speaker sounds
of a combustion engine. It's inauthentic, I suppose.
I see. I was thinking that's what you were wanting, was the...
No, I think it's silly. I mean, I think it's funny because there's been some concept cars where they've experimented with like doing kind of more Jetsons-y sounds and stuff like that, and you can change things. There's some high-end BMWs where you can, there's like this emotional, yeah, exactly, very good, emotional, different like vibes or whatever you can select on the screen. I mean, seriously.
As far as the sound coming from the vehicle as you utilize it?
And like it's speakers just on the inside, so it's not on the outside.
Oh.
And so
it gives you the feeling of having the big block or the small block or whatever.
Yeah, and they have like Hans Zimmer, I'm serious. It's literally Hans Zimmer, like making the noises and stuff for these electric car companies.
How do I get that voiceover job?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a voiceover. Yeah. Like you hit the throttle and it's just Greg doing that sound. Yee, rum rum. Like you remember the old TomTom navigation stuff where you could get files to, yes. And it was like C3PO or Jeremy Clarkson giving you directions.
Yes.
Yeah,
those were great.
Those were fun. I love that. I don't know. I haven't heard anybody do that in a long time.
We got to see where that voiceover job is, so we can be in every vehicle.
Maybe it's something that you pay for on like one of the other navigation apps. I'm sure somebody's yelling at the screen about that. But but yeah, I don't know. I mean, if there's I think if someone was just asking, "Hey, I'm getting an electric car." What do I get? I would probably, not knowing anything about them, I would say get a Model 3 Tesla.
Right.
Because that's the easiest, safest into the transition.
Well, I think it's a safe recommendation, too.
Yeah, and it's like it's a RAV4 that does everything for everybody.
Yeah, and it's your Honda Civic,
Honda
Accord.
Safe enough. And yeah, you can get it charged at
just
superchargers.
Just about everywhere. Tesla has more.
Yeah, you could actually drive across country with that right now, relatively.
Yeah,
and
you
stay
have
on
to
the
go a
Tesla
specific
network.
route, though.
Sure, but
but it
would be the least painful electric car. I think
brings
is
up
a
the
Tesla
next
3.
subject, though, of your gun to the head. Which one do you choose?
Yeah, and also
where you
this psychopath with a gun who keeps running into the buildings and saying, "Hey,
choose this.
Make a product decision."
I don't know where.
Make an informed decision about automotive products.
Somebody needs to take him out.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know why the government's not doing something about this guy.
So anyway,
like, what's his point? Like, if we decide the wrong, he's going to shoot you?
How does he win?
I was like, I don't know. I need to get some brochure. I need to look at some YouTube reviews about this car first before I say. And then it's just like, click, bang, you're gone, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
You didn't make a decision.
Yeah. That's why I'm subscribing to Consumer Reports and I'm going through everything that Edmunds on YouTube watches. So I can know exactly when that guy comes out of the woods with a pistol and says, "Hey, what car would you do if you only had a gallon left of gas to spend on?" Or whatever stupid podcast idea I'm going to come up with next week.
It's going to be
stupid. I'm sorry, I'm running out of ideas.
I'm being way too literal because I'm already thinking, I'll get a Prius. If I only have a gallon of gas, I'm going to get a Prius.
Oh, really? Okay. I thought I was going to just enjoy it, listen to it and probably go away fast, but some wailing, screaming Ferrari or whatever else,
Well, a gallon of gas to get as far away as I can is what I was thinking. So Prius.
Yeah. So you can get 40 miles away instead of the 10 miles away that I would
from the guy with the gun coming out of the woods.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, fine.
That's my point. Anyway, charging stations. That also leads to your decision in which one you pick, right?
Yeah.
Because the safeness, again,
is Tesla. Yeah. Right now. And then Tesla's opening up charging networks. Everything's going to be...
Even though they're laying off.
Homogenized to Tesla's style of chargers.
Yeah.
Except for Volkswagen's like the last one to conform because they spent $15-20 billion on...
After they got caught with the diesel
on a charging network. But...
Yeah.
I think right now I would say, Tesla Model 3 is easiest.
Safe.
Yeah. And Cybertruck is probably more fun, but safe.
I mean, I would go in the order of, what do you recommend? RAV4, Honda Accord, Honda Civic, Toyota Corolla. Then you go Type 3, Rivian, and then into the other manufacturers. I would go after that Toyota And, but they don't have full electric. I would go with the hybrid, and that's not the rules here, and I'm not obeying the rules, and I apologize.
Well, Toyota could make an electric if they wanted to, but
they're making them
they're selling
hydrogen and stuff now.
They're selling plenty of cars and doing hybrids, and they're great at their hybrid drives. You know,
are. Too bad their V6s are all blowing up in there.
Oh, really?
Tundras.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah,
846 total out of I don't know how many. There's a lot being recalled, and it's sad. Getting back to electric.
Oh, well, yeah, that won't be a problem in a few years because we'll be mandated by electric cars.
Right.
At
that mandation, I think I'll have to go hybrid at that point. You know, I don't think I can go full electric.
No, the mandate would be no gasoline. You know, they'll shut down every gas station. This will be.
That reminds me of that Lee Majors movie from like the 70s or 80s where he was a Formula One race car driver.
Okay.
Like all the oil ran out, or that somebody took all the oil, something like that, and everything was electric. There was no cars anymore and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
And then all of a sudden, when I don't remember the movie very well, but he digs up his garage concrete. And inside it, he has his Formula One race car.
Oh, really?
And then he has stashed gas certain places, and he drives across the U.S. all by himself in his F1 car. I'm going to have to look that up.
Okay. Yeah, you look it up. But I had, because that sounds an important movie that we all have to watch. The Rivian?
To watch.
The Rivian, though, I think is probably the coolest electric car right now. I think if I gun to the hood, I would buy a Rivian truck.
Agreed.
Because I think everybody understands it once you start saying it has 800 horsepower.
Yeah.
It's four-wheel drive. It has 800 horsepower. Yeah. I can do tank turns. And
the Mercedes does?
Yeah, and I like hippopotamuses, and it looks like a hippopotamus. So I get a gray Rivian. So it looks like a hippo with a red interior. I don't know, and then but yeah, I think it's interesting. It's like kind of built by product designers, you know, and that goes back to that same theory of the only thing to differentiate electric cars from one another is the design.
Okay.
So I think that car designers will be more and more important, having product designers, because it's an interesting car because it has. You know, it comes with well thought out ergonomics. It's interesting without necessarily being pretty.
Okay.
It has that cool pass through between the bed and the cab.
Right.
And it has
avalanche style pass through.
Yeah, and it has the front trunk and has the rear bed, that pass through thing. And all those little camping equipment add-ons that you can do.
The overlanding is the big thing for me.
Yeah, and it's interesting, you know? I mean, and once they start putting charge points out in the mountains, top of off-road trails.
Well, they have them in Aspen, I'm sure, because they're snobs and rich up there.
Okay, well, is Aspen a good off-road place?
Well, yeah, there's so many trails around and near Aspen that you can play and have fun.
Okay.
So, yeah. But getting to Aspen, do you have enough charge to get there when you're towing your off-grid?
In a Rivian, yeah, sure.
Okay.
That'll
be great.
It's got some good range.
Let's go.
It's probably get you about 250 miles or whatever.
That Lee Majors movie was The Last Chase.
The Last Chase.
1981.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Death Race 2000. You remember that one? But that's David Carradine or something.
It wasn't a Formula, but it is.
It's like a Can-Am car.
Right.
That's bitching as heck.
Right. And
sorry for cursing.
And he had it in his basement or locked or buried in his garage.
Nice.
Yeah. It's an outlawed Porsche. Yeah. Yeah. So. Okay.
It looks like a 917, man. Porsche.
Let's see if it'll.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah.
Read the description of the movie?
A former race car driver's car is confiscated. He rebuilds it and drives to free California with a teen's help. Agents dispatch.
Ironically, free California.
A jet pilot. to stop him, fearing his autonomy threatens their control.
Okay, so that's a true story about to happen.
Yeah.
I know that if I go down the dystopian path, I do think that electric is the way that, like, why would the government care about us having clean air, you know? And why would the government care about us having, not using fossil fuels? Because it's like, okay, we cut off the gas stations. Mm-hmm. We still have to make stuff out of petrochemicals, like plastics,
like everything in the world.
Everything, yeah. Every kind of nylon rayon, every kind of urethane in the whole world.
Vaseline.
Yeah. What about the big Vaseline industry?
Come on.
That'll come screeching to a halt because it'll have no lubrication.
My lips will be chapped.
So it's like, I'm gonna need to have some more dinosaurs breaking down. I think that...
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's not really dinosaurs breaking down.
What they don't teach you in school is...
It's not fossil fuel.
That we're getting more fossil fuels because more and more organic material breaks down. It's like, I don't know, man.
We were supposed to run out by 2050, I thought, and here we are.
Yeah, there's always a new...
from it.
I know.
Anyway, I digress.
I don't know, man. I just don't like being jailed because I don't agree with how the weather changes.
Right. Global warming. It's a real thing.
It might be. Who knows?
It's a good thing, though. Global warming's better than global cooling. Because if the Earth gets too cold, then we go to another ice age, and then we're all dead again.
And if the polar ice caps melt, then I will be the only one with an amphibious vehicle because I'm planning one right now.
You crazy son of a gun. Sorry for cursing. You are on top of it. Is it going to be electric too?
The headlights will.
But all the gas is going to be underwater. How are you going to do your refinery? How are you going to have gas? What are you going to do here?
Oh, you mean I need to become submersible? I can do that.
That'd be cool too.
Submersible with a drill on the front.
It? That's my question. How are you going to power it?
With diesel. And it'll go underwater.
So you're going to have the water world scenario, Kevin Costner, where you have the tanker ship and you live off of that. So you have...
But I'll be part of the gang of smokers.
Right.
That go after...
all the other vessels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie should have just been called Aquaman.
Should have been.
As he had gills behind his ears or something?
Yeah, and he could swim down to the cities and get stuff. And
yeah.
Yeah.
I heard he didn't even use any makeup for that movie. That he just actually... Kevin Costner actually has gills.
Those real gills, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And webbed feet.
Yeah, that's why he films all these movies out in, like, Wyoming and stuff because... in Montana because he doesn't want people looking behind his ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants less crowds.
You gotta wear the hat like that.
It's a true story. Look it up.
Look it up.
Google it.
Anyway.
But yeah, having like a electric car, why would the government promote it so much? Are they... Because I have never seen a program where they really care about the people and want a better life for the people unless
there's money involved.
Unless you can give up more control in order to get that from the government.
Either they want control or money for that good thing to happen.
We'll give you protection. You give us your freedom.
Yeah. And then we'll tax you for that freedom.
And that, yeah. So a little bit of a control. Because...
But you're still a free individual.
Speaking of California, not much longer, they're putting in speed limiters or speed chimes into your cars because Europe is doing this right now. Mm-hmm. And so every time you go above the speed limit, GPS rated...
is tracking you and tells you you're going too fast.
Yeah.
You need to slow down. You're not a free individual anymore.
So why wouldn't it just charge your card every time you go over the speed limit that way in your car? They don't have to put up speed cameras everywhere.
Right.
It's just whatever.
Well, that's China's citizen rating then. You get
the social credit score?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you're describing to me in my mind is social credit score then. Because if you're being monitored by GPS and then penalized by that GPS, that's just a social thing.
So I imagine it'll just be like, so the next thing will just be, how do you regulate older cars that don't have those speed limit things because, okay, it's a chime now saying, hey, you got a warning. You're like ding every time you go over 65 or 55, whatever the speed limit is.
Mm-hmm.
Then, okay, you back off. Then it'll be, we already have throttle by wire. The Cybertruck has steering by wire, no physical connection.
A lot of them are electric steering like that. The electric rack companions, man.
Well, that's it's electric assist instead of a hydraulic pump, or like a lot of cars have both, where they have your steering is connected to an electric motor that drives a hydraulic pump to pressurize the system.
Some of them, but a lot of them are electric rack companion
and electric only,
and you can control that.
Yeah, so it helps give the manufacturers, they go, okay, well, we have more points of data to control so that we can give better
feedback and better response.
Well, and also give the car more control over its all-wheel drive system. Yeah. It's traction control. It's gas mileage, whatever.
And it tells when you're steering and which wheels to slip and which wheels to grip and stuff, blah, blah, blah.
And that design goes hand in hand with Porsche came out with a hybrid 911, right?
Okay.
The brand new 911 just announced like a week ago that it's hybrid now. You cannot get the hybrid model with a manual transmission anymore.
Well, yeah, because the transmission is no longer there.
Well, no, but no, it still has a transmission. It's like a dual clutch PDK, everything, but controlling all that stuff, they can't anticipate, the traction, the fuel delivery, everything else with if some wackadoo who can make a million different choices that we can't predict behind the steering wheel is shifting his own gears on this perfect vehicles that we ever designed for efficiency. Why would you do that? And you go, well, I want fun, and they go, and then their heads explode.
Right.
Bunch of German engineers go, what the heck?
II, remember?
And that's funny. I've never heard that one before. They killed all the fun people in World War II.
Robin Williams. It's a Robin Williams joke.
Okay.
It's some German. He was over in Germany, and a German interviewer was asking him something about, we do not have much comedy here in Germany. Why do you think that is? And he goes, did you ever think you killed all the comedians? you killed them all? You killed everyone?
Golly, yeah.
I don't remember if that's exactly the joke, but
that's paraphrasing, but sure, yeah. Oh my gosh.
So, every time you bring up the German, fun? Why would you want to have fun?
Exactly.
We killed that in World War II.
And there is a fun division of Porsche called the GT division, and they do make...
Get tortured?
No, the GT... What?
GT, get tortured.
Oh, no.
German, sorry. Our fun is torturing you. Get tortured. Yeah.
No, it's just
Sorry, I get too literal. I'm way too literal.
It's funny. The Grand Touring.
Grand Touring, yeah, that's right.
Part division, who's in charge of like the race car stuff, would be in charge of like the GT3 models and the GT2 RS models and the RS models, whatever. They said that the GT3 RS will not have a hybridization. It will stay manual because the Americans want the manuals, and so there's the people who want that kind of freedom. How dare they in their cars? Then they can still have a product to buy.
Well, those people are definitely not going to want the deet you're speeding,
right?
So, I mean, California starting that, Europe already doing that. That's just
it's sliding slope stuff. So then, like, if it's
Colorado's,
it's just beeping in your car. Then it's like, okay, well then, who else is privy to that information? Now that we know that OnStar's been spying on us for years
and years.
And everything else. So then they can market other things,
right?
Then. Who knows what CarPlay's doing and everybody else, but I'm sure it's wonderful. But like if it's right to your
if all those videos could
your
be
car,
released.
And then it's like, okay, well then the fine will be built into your car.
Every time you go get your plates or something?
Well, because it's already, the infrastructure is just being built. Like the Tesla infrastructure of how you pay for your charge is you pay for it with the card built into your Tesla, right?
Yeah.
Through the app there.
Yes.
And also, so I don't think you even have to have a phone in order to pay for the charging.
As far as I know, when you plug in, it interacts with your car, and I think you're right.
So you don't have to have a phone or a
because your card is in your car,
there.
or your card has access to your card.
Right, exactly. So then why wouldn't it just fine you and then take out a chunk of money from you every time you went over the speed limit?
Some of your credits, yes.
So then you go, I'll just do autonomous driving the whole time.
Right.
And it will just go take you to your job.
To destinations,
and then to your home. And then to the jail when they want to. Remove you from society every time you go a few miles over the speed limit, and your social credit score loses another point or two.
Do you get labeled a habitual speeder after a time? Do you get labeled habitual this, habitual that, because you've been fined so many times?
Yeah,
and that goes towards your social credit score.
Yeah.
So we're not that far behind China, or Europe isn't, I should say.
A couple weeks. The doom and gloom episode for sure, but
it is. Sorry, we're supposed to be talking about electric vehicles and what
I am talking about electric vehicles.
What fun they are.
Well, I'm just saying this is why hot rods are so great, because of hooliganism, and hold on to them and they're precious.
Yes,
it's all the more precious now because it's like going away. This fun freedom is going away unless we make some changes. That libertarian spirit or whatever of don't talk to me, don't tread on me, don't tell me what to do. I want to have some fun. Yeah. And it's weird to say in the face of police and constabulatory or whatever and Gestapo that they say, why are you doing this? And your excuse is fun.
3 letters, fun.
It's like F-U-N. That's why it's in the Constitution, pursuit of happiness, man. Yes. Because it's undefinable.
Liberty and happiness.
Tell you what, man, it's a big deal. I think if you're a car guy, you better be defending that part of the Constitution. Absolutely. For sure. And
usually with your Second Amendment.
Yeah, gun guys and car guys and everything else. And I think it's interesting. We could probably do an episode of if someone is a gun nut, it'd be interesting to talk to their perspective on things. But
just full NRA. Full-fledged supporter member and lives by and dies by.
Or maybe like more of a gunsmith too, because I mean the mechanical actions of guns are beautiful sometimes, and they have to work, because it could be defending your life and everything and your family from who knows what.
Who knows what?
But
a varmint.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just a bad guy.
Varmint or bad guy, or just getting you some food. I don't know.
So one or the other. Yeah.
It's all that all in one. But
what's your choice for if the gun to your head, full electric vehicle?
I would say, oh, that's an interesting gun. Where'd you get that from?
Where's your smith?
We have a 3-day waiting period out here. Can you just pick this up? Interesting. Bang.
Yeah.
I'm not answering these questions.
You have to answer the question. What is your choice for electric vehicle?
I'm holding you down so I could get some consumer information from you. So yeah, I think that my choice right now, I like Rivian because it's a little interesting, and also my Amazon guy drove a Rivian truck up to the house, and I stopped him because Rivian makes those electric Amazon trucks.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
It says Rivian right on the side. It's a Rivian.
Really?
Yeah. That's where they're getting a lot of their money from, is the fleet trucks and stuff. The smooth ones with the round headlights. Yeah, same company.
I didn't know that.
And
I am blown away by that.
It's a fascinating product design, because you look at the side and you go, okay, it's sections, and it looks like you could expand it. And
it's modular, right?
You could, it's modular. You could bolt on a new section if you wanted to make it longer.
If that one gets crashed, unbolt it, put a new one in.
Exactly, that kind of stuff too, which is kind of old Volkswagen Beetle kind of thinking of you can pop off panels real quick and get onto another one. What?
Were you born in Germany?
No.
Because you are on the German tip like none other.
Oh, come on. Okay, fine. I'll just talk about Chevrolets from now on.
Talk about Toyotas?
I'm
doing my best not to talk about them.
Dude, okay, sorry.
I'm trying my hardest not to talk about him.
I'll have to like, yeah, maybe we hold up a flag or something like that. Like you hold up a German flag every time I mention Volkswagen Porsche, and then I hold up a rising sun flag when you talk about Toyota.
I'm just being busting your balls.
You're right, but I gotta get over it. Okay, fine.
No, it's
Well,
great.
if I'm being redundant, fine. Okay.
Were Rivians built in Germany?
No, they're like a California company.
Isn't there electric companies in Europe, though, doing things like Rivian and Tesla?
But they're all established brands doing electric versions of their own vehicles.
I see. Not a startup company or nothing like that, like Rivian or Tesla. Like Ineos is not
There's
electric, but that's that rich oil guy who wanted his own Defender.
Yeah, and there's like there's Japanese brands that are independent. There's a Allspark Owl that's a different supercar, and it's interesting.
It's interesting. That's all I'm going to say.
I think I don't know, man. There's smaller European independent stuff too, but yeah, the Jag definitely came out with that I-Pace a long time ago.
Right.
And I thought that was an interesting and good-looking car.
Yeah, it wasn't ugly.
Yeah.
And what's that out or BMW one that has like the holes through the body of
like
it?
the i8.
Is that what it is?
Like kind of that mid-engine looking supercar, yeah.
Yeah.
And that one was a little disappointment because that was a hybrid thing.
Yeah.
Had a 3-cylinder engine and the electric.
But it looked great.
It was really cool.
It looked great. It didn't stay very long. It didn't have the reliability. It didn't have the usefulness.
I think my dad got excited about it too because he's a techie kind of guy and he enjoyed that. And I'm looking around going, you could LS swap this thing and make it a real cool car. Imagine how much lighter it would be without all these electric motors,
battery packs
and stuff like that. Now, I mean, it's like, yeah. But there was laws, dang old government, man. Laws preventing those cars from having being fully realized products because that i8 was compromised in it couldn't have a larger enough fuel tank. It had to be under a certain amount.
Oh.
And like even that little i3, the smaller, kind of goofy looking, not goofy looking. I don't know. It was an interesting looking.
It was interesting looking.
She had a great personality.
She was nice.
And that small car that you could go full electric and the range was, 200 miles maybe.
200 miles, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. But then if you had the
hybrid,
with the range extender, then the law said that you had to have a smaller fuel tank,
which doesn't make sense.
And you had to have like a smaller battery, but you couldn't. But if you did full electric, you could have a big battery, and if you did full gasoline, you could have a big tank.
Why can't you have both?
And so, with the range extender, you ended up compromised all the way, and then there's more complexity. Versus, like you see some sarcastic or smart-ass guys on sorry for cursing, Tesla owners with a generator sitting in the trunk of their car, or they have the bicycle trailer hitch rack, and they put the generator on there and it's plugged into the car generating electricity
as they're driving down the road.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're defeating the purpose of an electric car
because you're running the gas motor to charge it.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, got it.
But I think that having maybe those cars will get cheap enough and like their batteries will fail like those BMW i8s, and maybe that electric motor from a Mini or the gasoline engine from the Mini won't be so fantastic, so they'll be so expensive to maintain and to fix and to replace batteries, because it might be $20,000 to replace a battery pack. I don't know how much on that BMW. That we could buy them, gut them, have all that lightweight carbon fiber body, this gorgeous looking car, and put in a fantastic fire-breathing V8 into it, and it would go millions of miles an hour, and and be the car it should always have been.
That was
What?
wow. Yeah.
That's my answer to what electric car would you buy. I don't know. What electric car would you buy?
I honestly, I would think I'd have a hard time between the Tesla 3 and the Rivian.
Okay.
I think I would have to go towards the Rivian though, because I always have
You need
trucks.
a truck. Yeah.
And I was joking today that I can't have cars because I can't drive anything that can't leave the ground and keep driving.
And yeah, and to most people's credit, if you have an electric car, you're charging it at home 95% of the time.
Right.
And commuting less than 100 miles a day.
Dude, I'm
Which
all over.
Every electric car can practically every electric car can do that, no
Right.
problem, unless you like forget to charge it, one night, and then you're
But still,
then you're
you're
out.
only going 13 miles to work at the most.
Maybe, yeah, maybe you might do that. So it's like, okay, so then this might not hurt your whole life as much.
Right.
You're less tempted to go to the gas station, and or you don't ever go to a gas station anymore, maybe.
Right.
And
But the last 2 weekends I've been in Divide, Colorado.
Oh yeah.
And a Rivian would not have done me good because I went camping. I didn't go to any place that had charging stations. I was off grid.
Yeah.
From Friday to Sunday.
And I guess, it would make it from Denver to the Springs.
Right.
Okay. And then you charge in the Springs, and then you could go up to Divide.
Wherever I was going to go in Divide, right?
Yeah. It ruins a lot of spontaneity.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't just pick up and go and be wherever you want to be because I have an extra 4-gallon fuel tank in the bed of my truck. So if I run low on gas, I can still get closer to civilization.
Yeah. And so I guess that's the thing. It's just like, how do you...
I would choose the Rivian, but it would limit my life. It would change my lifestyle.
Yeah, I suppose so. And then you'd have to your problems are just charging. That's all.
Yeah.
And your access to charging will get there eventually, but
Perhaps.
I think it has to be a private companies getting charging stations. It can't get left up to the government because Buttigieg just spent $8 billion on 5 chargers or something, 5 electric charger stations.
$8 billion for 5 stations?
Something like that. It's like
Sweet Jesus.
Might be 7 stations, I think.
But still, what does it cost to
It's
use
less
those
than 10.
stations to pay for that billions of dollars, right?
It's about $1 billion a station.
So how do you recoup that money
He
quickly?
says, well, we're trying to get the infrastructure there. There's a lot. You got to pick the land. You got to do other things, he's saying.
Yeah.
But that was in 2001 he got the money. And we got 7 stations so far, government run, and who knows how reliable they are, man. Come on, man.
I'm not feeling very confident in your statement there, dog.
No, it has to be like so.
We need more stations and we need more reliability.
Or you have to have independent, and maybe there's a business case for having a van that has batteries or
that it's a mobile charging station.
Yeah, that's a generator in the back of the truck or a van that you go around and charge people up on the side of the road, give them a top up of 10 miles or whatever.
I would think they would set up a solar or wind scenario power bank.
Yeah,
where it
solar wind, like meaning a solar like
or wind,
the sun flares.
Solar or wind.
Okay,
bank.
Sorry.
Like, and you could 10 acres. How many solar panels can you put up in 10 acres? And how much battery pack can you put in 10 acres?
Yeah, our overlord Elon Musk said that he, if we could solve all the energy problem with solar panels,
the technology for the solar panels isn't there yet, but we're getting closer to being able to go directly from the sun to our battery and use it instantly. I
have a radio that works on solar panel.
Battery recovery is just
little Eton charging radio, and I've never recharged it. I've never plugged it into the wall since I bought it.
Right.
Okay, done. Okay.
Right. But it probably has a capacitor, not a battery.
I don't know.
And we're back to capacitors instead of batteries again.
Okay.
So.
But like for hot rodding, what do you think is the next step for hot rodding? You can buy electric, or you can buy Tesla motors.
Yeah.
You can buy batteries.
You can buy GM and Ford electric motors.
Sure. And
300-400 horsepower and who knows how
Have
many
you seen the new
foot-pounds of torque. And
Chevrolet? They call it the Silverado, but everybody knows it's an Avalanche electric car.
yeah,
RST.
yeah.
It's like 6,000 pounds and maybe even more, maybe 8,000 pounds.
Uh-huh.
And, but it has all the fun cubby holes and gadgets and 3-folding tailgate and mid-gate and like a front trunk. And it goes, they've been handing them out to YouTubers and they go, 400 miles between charges.
Sweet Jesus.
I'm like going, okay. I think once they hit 600 miles, maybe everybody will go, yeah, this is better than a gas car.
Yeah. Well, 400 miles.
400 miles is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good God, dude.
Uh-huh.
I only get 200 out of my...
Yeah, same. So it's like...
And we're crying about range.
I know, but I fill up in, that's the thing. You fill up in 10 minutes or whatever, or maybe not even 5 minutes and go.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
That's the problem is the recharge.
Yeah, spend more time getting a Snickers and a Mountain Dew than I do filling up the car. So if I, I don't know if you've ever just put the pump in and put it on the handle and then go in and bought something.
Come back out. It's done.
Back and it's done. You never beat it. I don't recommend doing that. You should always
never leave a pump unattended.
Yeah, you should always watch it. But I mean, let's say you're going with more than one person in the car, and they could watch it. But still, you're not going to outrun the,
you still
the
can't,
pump.
Yeah, you still can't beat it.
So there's the other company you could create, new business idea of just having a electric charging station. You have a captive audience for 45 minutes, and you just have food and entertainment for them at the charging stations for 45 minutes.
There you go.
I mean, it could all be there. So that
non-alcoholic though, right?
I don't know,
because you could put down quite a few shots in 45 minutes and get your fully charged car and kill somebody.
Yeah, fully charged might be the name of the company too.
I love it. It's the name of the band that plays too.
Yeah, fully loaded, fully charged, whatever.
Fully charged. So your pick is a Rivian. I think my pick would have to be. My pick would have to be a Rivian.
They're coming out with a new, smaller, like R2 they call it, and
oh shit!
So there will be Star Wars jokes coming up with that,
and everybody's gonna get the personal license plates.
Yeah,
R2D2.
Yeah, and and it'll be painted up, silver and blue and everything. It's just like it. But
I thought he was white and blue.
If there weren't any girls, then I would totally do it too. But since there's females around to judge me on everything, then
and I like talking with them.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you want to get a Star Wars lady, who's into Star Wars.
I'm okay.
It's a specific kind of girl.
I'll just take a regular, normal person. Thanks. Somebody who lives by some fantasy world,
dude.
It's because I'm too literal. Remember, too literal. Anyway,
I know, but
charging stations is the only fallback to my favorite kind of electric vehicle. The one that did the Rubicon is the Rivian.
Yeah,
in stock platform.
Yeah, that lifted Rivian, the SUV version. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
I think they're I think they will they'll make it out of bankruptcy or anything like that. A bunch of other startup companies like these,
they'll be the one that lasts like Tesla.
I think they actually will. They'll become big and profitable because they had such a giant contract with Amazon to get them some money, get them the fleet.
That's amazing. I never knew that.
They went commercial with that first, before their customer cars basically came out at the same time almost. So it's like, yeah, a lot of money spent. They're probably not profitable yet, but it's like, I think they'll continue to do so because a lot of car companies, they make so much money in the aftermarket on their own parts and all their own repairs and selling parts that, to fix their products in the aftermarket,
right?
And Ford and GM makes tons off of selling parts after you've bought the car, and so a Rivian doesn't have that yet. People, their cars aren't out of warranty yet because they're new. Basically, they gotta eventually build up that part where people are buying parts from the dealerships or wherever you buy a Rivian from. I actually never seen a Rivian dealership. I don't know where you buy one from. I guess it just appears.
Just like the easy for me to say.
Oh, Greg's having a stroke.
You smell toast.
The Ineos Grenadier.
Ineos Grenadier.
Yeah.
There's...
Did you see the pickup truck version of the Ineos Grenadier called the Quartermaster?
Hold on, let me finish my sentence.
Oh, okay.
What was Mark saying? It's in that World... What? Dealership?
Oh, Red Nolan.
Red Nolan. So there's got to be Rivian dealerships around here that we don't know about.
Okay.
We're just simply unaware of it.
Maybe. Okay. I'll look one up.
One of the Lincoln Tech instructors left to go work for Rivian.
Oh, yeah? Have you talked to him since?
Yes. But we don't talk about the Rivian. He just said job was good.
I guess if it was terrible, then he would let you know. Then that's all he would say.
I don't know. He'd probably just say, it wasn't that good. I moved on.
Oh, really? Okay.
But he's still there after a year, so.
Let's go ask him about it then. I like Rivian, and I think they're interesting. I think they'll be the next big thing.
We could probably get him to do the podcast.
Okay, cool. Because, I'm interested in how the day-to-day is on just a mechanic being in an electric shop. Like, do you just hop in your car and not change your uniform because you're not dirty, because you have no oil all over you, and
you
grease
still get
and mud?
dirty working on cars.
Not an electric car.
You do.
You wear a lab coat to work, and then you look at electric charges, and then you have your photon gun, and you go zap.
There's still bearing grease. There's still grease.
Oh, okay.
There's still lubed things, and
I hope so.
there's still assholes.
Petrochemicals. I guess you got to fill up the washer fluid. It's like, oh, you come rolling into town, I smell like washer fluid. Great.
Oh, you could tell he's an electric mechanic.
Ugh.
Washer fluid freak. Anyway, he was a Toyota mechanic too, so.
Okay.
Forewarning. We're going to talk about Toyotas.
I'm fine with that. I love it. What about hot rodding though? Like, would you get a 32 Ford and then in the future electrify it?
Dude,
Do you think it's a problem?
I've always been envious of the guys who electrify the bugs and the Gias and stuff. That's really cool.
The EV West was kind of early to the punch doing that, and they started electrifying a lot of Volkswagen Beetles and buses.
I think they did a bus for Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah, and I like that idea. I can understand it because they do it in an interesting way where you can still unbolt everything and put your gas motor back in. Yeah,
it's all detachable. It's removable. Whatever.
But they also say that nobody really ever does that. No. Nobody ever goes back.
Because once it's there, it's great.
And if you had a Beetle that had, 100-mile range, okay, cool. I think that.
Well, yeah, you're not driving that one from here to Texas.
And they had that. They still kept the manual transmissions in them.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool, but they say, well, you just don't use the clutch pedal when you're at stoplights, like you wouldn't have to put your clutch in and it comes to a stop. And so you still have the ability to change your mind to interact with a vehicle a little bit. And I think that could be cool. There was a European company who did that with Porsche 356s. Sorry for saying Porsches and stuff, I know. But
European.
You said Toyota, so I get to say they did a 356 and they purposely kept the power level low on the electric motor. They said because a couple of things, they didn't want to overweigh down the car, and they also didn't want to overtax the original drivetrain, suspension, everything. Yeah. So if you had like a 500 horsepower electric motor, you have to re-engineer the whole car.
Yeah.
And
you can't use the factory manuals and stuff. Yeah.
Right. And so they still had the manual transmission and still had the narrow tires. And so it was squealing around but torquey, even though it only had 100 horsepower. 100 horsepower is still, unless you had a hopped up 4-cam speedster engine, that was about what that car had. Maybe had 83 horsepower to begin with, for and that was pretty good for back in the day for a little light, enjoyable car. And then that, but you still have a stick shift, and you could switch gears, and it made a difference when you went from first to second,
Right.
and actually wound up through the gears. And I guess it would extend the range, just like a gasoline engine, if you're putting it in fifth gear going on the highway.
I don't know. Yeah, it seems like if you just have direct drive, you just go.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems to me that the more you do this, fluctuate the accelerator pedal, the more electricity you use. Because you're getting off of it, getting on it, getting off of it, getting on it. You're starting and stopping it,
But doesn't that just improve your distance, at least, per kilowatt or whatever?
My argument is I think
taller?
you're using more electricity doing that versus just go and hold your foot there.
Just one gear.
Yeah, just direct drive.
Like Tesla have.
Direct drive.
Because Porsche has it in the Taycan and that Audi GT.
But if you're trying to keep the drivability,
a 2-speed transmission.
You keep the stock transmission in it. When I went to SEMA and saw the Jeep hybrid stuff or EVs, some of them
4xe.
No, the retro stuff.
Okay.
Old CJ8s, old CJ7s that they were putting electric motors in like bugs and beetles. Some of them had the 5-speed. Some of them had no speeds. All of them had the transfer case so you could select 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
You always have to have that. But because they were just single electric engines, and electric engine was where the combustion engine was.
Yeah. And
so some of them had the 5-speed transmission. Some of them didn't. And we were going to build one for the CEO of Lincoln Tech. We were going to build his 79 CJ7, and he was going back and forth whether he should put a manual transmission in it or not, or just have direct drive. And the research that we did, me and my co-instructor saw that, 2022's technology.
Yeah.
Some of them you actually use more electricity fluctuating the accelerator. Going off and on, going off and on. You're using more electricity, turning it off and on, turning it off and on nonstop, versus just keeping it at a constant volt.
Okay.
So he was like, well, I like having the 5-speed because it makes me feel like I'm driving a vehicle again, But also, it is pretty cool just to push the gas down and go. And not have to think about anything.
Yeah.
Just turn it on, go.
Yeah, and there have been some companies coming out with both. Like you have an automatic and an automatic mode to your manual transmission.
Right.
Like the big Koenigsegg, like CCX Revival, the car, I forgot what its name is, but it just was introduced last year, and it had a gated, 6-speed manual, but also
you could just throw it into electric mode, full on auto.
Yeah, auto mode. And so
I think that would be groovy.
It's pretty interesting.
Like if you're, out and having fun by yourself and you do the 6-speed for your fun.
Yeah.
And then later on that evening, you go out with a wife or the significant other and you just throw it in automatic mode and enjoy the conversation with them. And
I suppose so. Yeah. And that, because when I worked at Mercedes, I didn't touch a manual for, a year at a time. They had a few manuals there, but then I'd hop in my manual car and drive home.
Right, but no Mercedes.
But the Mercedes, it was really, and we had a they hired a guy who didn't know how to drive a stick shift, and he was the valet porter guy, and it was horrible because he went to go pick up a customer car, and he couldn't do it, and I'm like going, oh.
The one customer car that was
why did we hire this guy? He can't drive a stick. It's probably less and less of an issue now, but it was like your whole job is driving cars. It pissed me off so much. I was trying to teach him how to drive a stick shift on my own car and stuff like that. So I get him up to speed. It was terrible because I had to manage all these guys. But I did complain about it. I go, why did we hire this guy? How bad is it out there that we can't hire someone who knows how to drive a car, because I don't know what company had only a history of automatics. Can you think of one other than Tesla?
Yeah, that's all.
So, so that skill will die off because it'll be unnecessary. Just like the accordion, and like we're gonna do a podcast about the dying of the accordion.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'd love a good accordion song.
I'm just kidding. But also when driving a manual or driving an automatic, you put it in manual mode. Or I use the shift paddles a lot too.
Yeah.
And that, I think even that part will go away, I believe, soon.
Yeah, because everybody will be so lazy, and
it doesn't promote efficiency.
And not only that, people aren't getting in their cars to commute anymore. People see getting in their car and traveling as a burden. Nobody likes to drive anymore, it seems like.
Yeah.
Nobody likes the commute. From what I hear is like, I have to get in my car and go there.
Do you think it's because
I think everybody wants teleporters, you know?
And do you think that those people in your life, teleporters, yeah. I mean, that'd be kind of fun too, but...
Just instantly walk in this door and be at that location, that'd be fucking great, yes. But I'd still enjoy driving my trucks and useless vehicles.
Leaving an awkward conversation.
I don't know. I think everybody will go to the full autos and just direct drives and the autonomous, you know.
But I think it's also people just haven't experienced something.
Nobody experiences it anymore.
A car that's engaging and interesting. Because I had a friend who, like, I was talking to him. I go, "What's your favorite car of all time?" Because he obviously wasn't a car guy, but he would say, "Well, my Dodge Acclaim or whatever, Plymouth Acclaim, it was all soft and red velour, and it was like driving in a couch all the time." I go, okay, that's a funny joke. But what do you really mean?
The gutless.
He says, no, my Acclaim was so great, and it was so smooth and comfortable. That was the best car ever, best handling car ever. I go, no, okay, but I mean, like, going, okay, that's funny. Okay, stop joking with me.
He's never driven an Audi R8.
And he goes,
he's never driven a
no, like, yeah, but my Plymouth was pretty easy to around town, and my back was never sore and stuff. I go, okay, well, you could buy another one right now for $300 probably all day long. And probably the best Plymouth Acclaim in the world is probably, I don't know, probably $4,000. I'm not sure. I go, buy one, dude. But also, I think it was just that realization that he had never been in a good car. And I'm coming from Porsches and Audis and Ferraris and everything else.
High-end cars,
and I'm driving, and then going to hot rods and vintage cars that all have crazy amount of soul and stories, and like,
which is high-end
actresses from the 50s used to own them. And like, yeah, and that's like, if they were gone, then they had to rip pages out of history books because of these things. They were Americana, they were European, there was something crazy about them that was just inherently had a soul. And he's talking about Plymouth Acclaim's the best thing ever. So it's like, when he gets to the next thing, you kind of go, okay, you're just uninformed. You haven't been part of that. Like I told you that story about not being into muscle cars until I drove one, not quite getting it. And then I drove a 396 Chevelle, 65 Chevelle around going, and really got on the throttle, couldn't stop, had to turn fast at a roundabout, and squealing tires, and it's leaning over, and I'm thinking it's gonna flip over, but it didn't quite. It just kind of squealed like crazy. The BF GTAs on it, and then kept going, and I'm like going, I'm happy that I'm alive, and I'm exhausted, and it was so much drama, and it was like, This car's amazing.
And your point is that you don't get that now with electric vehicles.
I'm saying that people have to experience cool cars, and if they don't experience cool cars, like brand new generation, if you're born today, you might never drive a gasoline powered automobile. You might only drive an electric car and not know what it was like. I'm not saying that people have to drive a tiller-operated a horseless carriage in order to appreciate automobiles, but once I took him out into my Audi, I said, okay, drive my Audi. I taught him how to drive stick shift on my Audi.
Okay.
And And then he goes, "Oh, now I get it." And I'm like going, "Yeah." He goes,
So you're saying everybody's lacking that. Oh, I get it.
"Yeah." And I think that the industry's not building cars for
Oh, I get it.
the people who are the I get it people like us, crazy mechanical inclined
Well, that's
people.
why Mark's got an Ineos. Because he gets it.
Yeah, because
that's the only vehicle that's offered. And it's what he likes, and it's what he can. Oh, I get it. This is why it's here. He settled with the FJ for how long?
Yeah.
And then he got his Ineos. He has the Porsche because it is eternal. What is the word? Ethereal?
Visceral?
That too. There's another word. But you feel the car in your seat.
I think you're thinking of ethereal.
Yeah, maybe. But you feel the car. You feel the drivability of it. You don't feel that in a Tesla. I don't know if you feel that in a Rivian. I haven't driven one.
Yeah, Teslas aren't fun in the turns yet. And I think they're getting there.
Well, I don't know.
I think that
pretty fast in those turns. Those cars go fast in turns.
Okay, but you
experience the G-force and stuff, but it's not the scary 64.
Yeah, the fun comes from G-forces being slammed back, and I don't know if they're as good as they could be in the turns. You know, their suspension design is not up to snuff for the power. It overpowers their suspension and their brakes for sure.
Yeah,
and
they're not built to go for corners, like you said.
Yeah, but
they're not built for that.
A vehicle with 1,000 horsepower potentially
should probably
be able to brake, and
should be able to corner.
Yeah, that's why the brake upgrade kit's now standard on that car. But
I agree with you. If you don't have that kind of
you don't know what you're missing,
mechanical sympathy for the vehicle, then you're never going to have the appreciation and the I get it.
Because and you listen to car reviewers and stuff, and they drive a brand new. Man, I guess after looking at reviews and stuff like that, and then hopping into a newer car that everybody said was amazing,
right? And
I think it was my Volkswagen GTI, and I got a 2008 GTI Mark V, and everybody said, "Oh, this is the best hot hatch you can get. It's the most practical thing. Might not be the best at handling, like be the fastest, but it's good at everything." And I'm like going, yeah, I kind of agree. And it was fun, but it was only fun in a certain range. You know, it wasn't fun around town. You had to go up to the mountains. You had to really push it, really, really push it in order to have some fun, I thought, with it. Versus like these little old Beetles and these old 50s cars and stuff like that. They were fun right away. They were fun. The process of starting it was fun. The process of explaining to people why you smell like gasoline was fun. The 0 to 30 miles an hour was fun. I don't know. It just made sounds in it.
They also compromised handling for suspension.
Sure. But
for ride comfort.
But some cars, okay. I had a BMW 2002 TII 73, and it was I still think it's probably one of the best things I've ever driven, because it was light, it made noises, it was had a mechanical feeling all around, and it squealed the tires at low speed, and it was fantastic. I remember when I got grippier tires, it like kind of made it not as fun. And I would scare passengers in the car because I was driving it too fast, and I probably wasn't a good enough driver yet, too. But I'm like going. Then I reminded them, I'm like going, we're going 30 miles an hour. We're not gonna. You drive your Corolla faster than this on a daily basis around these same turns, and you never notice it,
So you're saying that connection isn't there,
right?
Would you electrify that vehicle?
The 2002 BMW? Never. No, it was a mechanical fuel-injected car. It was interesting. Now, that one especially was like 140 horsepower in a car that weighed 2,000 pounds. It was just 5-speed. It was delightful. That was designed perfectly. I think. I don't know if I would add to it at all. And I don't think I would take away from it. It was just like it was just really good. Yeah. And nothing I did to it. I wouldn't hot rod that one out. I've seen other people do other BMW engines into those cars, and I don't think I would have changed that one. It was just about right.
So you think everybody's going to jump on the board, the electric car?
I don't think they'll have a choice.
We're going to be forced to have electric vehicles?
Absolutely. Or no vehicle. public transport, nothing.
By when?
About 3 weeks. I don't know, dude, but it's going to happen. Unless there's some massive change, They'll just outlaw it. They've already put the laws at, 2030, there'll be no more new car sales of electric vehicles.
Yeah, but I think the sales of the vehicles themselves are actually going to stipulate what we do. Nobody's buying the electric vehicles. They're all sitting on the lot still.
Well,
all the Mach-E's, all the Lightnings, they're not selling.
Yeah, it's compromised. There's no infrastructure to charge them, charging network stuff.
I think that's why Toyota's...
It's beyond frustrating to do so.
The only one saying they're going hybrid.
No, a lot of a lot of companies have started to make gasoline engines, and develop gasoline engines again. I think GM was the biggest one. They said, we're going to go completely electric everywhere.
Yeah.
And they were government.
Now they're going hybrid?
They're going to, it's going to hold off a bit because the relative failure of the Chevy Bolt electric car, little hatchback, was supposed to rescue them or turn them, get everybody on the board. And it was a big failure, apparently.
Well, Dodge is doing it, right?
Because it also kind of burned down people's houses, too, but whatever.
Ford is
Dodge is doing it in an interesting way. Did you see that Ram, the electric Ram, the Ram Charger?
Yeah.
That's interesting. It's like a locomotive. Because it's, locomotives have...
General diesel.
Yeah, they have a diesel generator and it's electric power. That actually touches the wheels, and that's how that Dodge is. It keeps the V6, and it acts as a generator basically, and then it has electric drive.
That's the best hybrid drive.
It has no transmission.
Right.
That truck.
That's the best hybrid drive because locomotives have been doing it for the last 50, 60 years.
Maybe more. Yeah.
Right. So. I don't think we're going to go full electric. I think the market's going to stipulate and say that no. We can't do it because number one, the infrastructure isn't there.
Yeah.
Number two, the market isn't there.
Okay, well then maybe here's the call to action for people who are listening.
All 13 of you.
Fellow sympathizers, millions around the world, that it's that you gotta, if you have a cool car, get somebody to hop in that cool car with you and have them enjoy it. Preach the gospel of internal combustion. Or cool cars, I did that with my friend, and he said, "Oh, now I get it." I drove a muscle car and said, "Now I get it," and kind of going in. I was picking jobs for a while. Because it's interesting. I'm just attracted to these cars, and I'm like going, what will get me closer to these cars without having to buy them? And so I get to start driving Model Ts and Ferraris and everything else, because of these weird restoration jobs that I got. And now I go, this is actually better. There is a cooler way or whatever. And I can compare that when I look at getting into a new car. I go, why is this cool? Why is a Boxster better than a Miata? Whatever else, I don't know. Because I've been there.
Why is the Aerostar worse vehicle? Why is the Aerostar a worse vehicle than the Caravan, right? You got to be able to get out there and explore.
Are we going to do
an
Aerostar versus Caravan?
No, we're supposed to be talking about electric vehicles. We're supposed to be talking about electric vehicles. But I'm trying to further your point of...
Love the Aerostar.
I hate the Aerostar. You have to have that... I get it. Feeling to be able to appreciate where we're going with automobiles.
And maybe that's it too, and changing how we do some stuff with car culture. I mean, car culture, you generally, if you're at a car show, I think people want to share their cars a lot. Mm-hmm. And I think getting younger guys into this.
It's called a show for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. But also being more evangelistic about car stuff, about the hot rod stuff, where not being too cool to go take your 32 Ford to a JDM meeting would be kind of fun, and say, hey, this is cool too, and kind of cross shop and go into different bloodlines, if you will. But I think that maybe there's something like that. Maybe you could go to a Tesla meet up with a hot rod. Wouldn't that be fun? And say, guys, no, look, there's another way. We don't have to wait 45 minutes to charge this vehicle. I can burn up burn up fossil fuels now and get to our destinations.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that. I thought you were talking about making people more aware of what it is they're actually getting into and not being hit the autonomous button and go.
Yeah, that's part of it for sure. Because I mean, experiencing it and having
there's never going to be a Tesla meetup.
There are Tesla meetups, aren't there?
Because it's autonomous.
Oh,
I'm confused by that.
I'm just saying. I don't know. There's got to be electric car like clubs or something.
Well, yeah, but those people, they have the I get it already.
Okay.
You don't need to tell them anything because they're at a car club. They already get it.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be cool to bring one there? Because I mean, when Teslas were first coming out, they would show up like a Model S would show up at Hot Rod Show, and they would draw a crowd.
Yeah,
people go, well, what the heck is this? You know, and
yeah, because that guy had the aha already.
Yeah,
we're trying to get the people without the aha into vehicles that make them go, aha, I get it.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe we just got to be better than that car, that electric alternative.
Okay.
Long pause. I don't think it's I think it's a good idea to, like, if you want to perpetuate what you're into, then you have to share it and get other people excited about it.
Yes. But not for that reason. I'm saying people are losing the enjoyment of driving. They're losing the enjoyment of being in a vehicle. People are dreading it. And
yeah, if you've never driven a manual.
They all want portals.
The Plymouth Acclaim guy where you've never driven a manual, you've never driven a rowdy car or a good, a technically adept car before, then you'll never appreciate it.
Exactly. So what's that country? Newfoundland?
Okay.
I think you have to have your permit and you drive with an instructor for 3 years.
Whoa.
I think that's the country. I could be mistaken. But there is one country.
Oh, like Finland maybe, because they have a lot of rally drivers are coming out of Finland?
It might be Finland,
okay.
Yeah, because their roads are curvy and unpredictable, and you learn how to drive on a shitty road surface. So
sure.
They have I get it, immediately because they die if they don't.
Yeah.
They crash and they go off the road, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's send everybody to Finland to learn how to drive.
or maybe just make the barrier to entry on a driver's license a little bit higher.
A little bit higher. You don't just go next door and take a driving course and then go to the DMV and get your license.
Yeah, very unlibertarian of me, but to say,
agreed. Where's your freedom there?
Add some regulation there,
but I think that's the point. I mean, I
think it also should come with, if I have to do more training to get a driver's license, maybe if I'm successful and have like a race license too, then maybe I should be able to go about 20 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Well, you're in America.
Legally.
You're in America. You're free to do whatever you want, sir.
dang, I'll tell you what.
You pay your taxes. America, goddammit. Sorry for cursing.
All right. Maybe that's a good place to leave this one. I don't think we're solving problems now.
We're sending everybody to Finland to learn how to drive.
We stopped solving problems 10 minutes ago. All right, man. That was fun. All right.
Hold on.
What?
I'm recapping here.
Okay, recap.
We're both giving Rivians.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we have to.
Yeah, put the gun to the head. Crazy guy from the woods. He's always in every episode, it seems like.
Yeah.
I think he met us at Slee.
We got to name him. Yeah.
Didn't we put a gun
yes.
to Ben Swain's head at Slee? Anyway, so we're both getting Rivians. We're both worried about charging infrastructure.
Yes.
We would hybrid or we would electrify a couple of our older vehicles to enjoy it.
Keeping a stick shift transmission.
Yeah. I might do the thing where I have one that's 5-speed and one that's direct drive, just to see the difference and enjoy the difference in the two vehicles, right? I do like your idea of being able to switch it from manual to automatic.
I think the problem is too that it's just that it's unauthentic. It's like having a plastic play school. Steering wheel taped to the dashboard, and like and you're in the passenger seat, like in the beginning of The Simpsons, where Maggie's steering, the little the fake steering wheel there. It's like play school thing. I'm like, that's how I feel with like a manual transmission that could also have an automatic mode. It's inauthentic,
right?
So
and then we're sending everybody to Finland for driving lessons.
Yes.
Okay. That's a good recap.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And evangelize your gasoline powered manual transmission hot rods.
Right.
All right, dude. Good times. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening. See you next week.